What's up, guys? Welcome back. I have another review for you. This is the Wolverine 3D Blu-ray. Just to give you some tech specs here, this movie is PG-13. It also comes with an unrated version that is longer. The theatrical cut, which I am reviewing, is 2 hours and 6 minutes. It's got 2x40 widescreen, so it does have black bars on the top and bottom. 7.1 DTS HD Master audio track. Now, this is a really good movie. It's one of my favorites, and just to give you a little bit of backstory here, it takes place years after the events of the third X-Men film from the original trilogy, The Last Stand. We have Wolverine living as a hermit in a cave out in the wilderness, haunted by the events of his past from the last movie. And what brings him out of hiding in this movie is a messenger comes and tells him that a Japanese man from his past, from his World War II days, is dying and wants to bestow upon him a gift and, say farewell before he dies. So he ends up flying to Japan, reluctantly, where he goes to say his goodbye to this old friend. And this old friend tells him, hey, look, because you saved my life during World War II, I want to give you a gift that I know you've been longing for a long time. You've been living for an eternity, and that can't be easy. My company has a way of taking your power, your mutant power of healing from you and passing it to somebody else. So, he's offering to make Wolverine mortal. And Wolverine's like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't want this gift. And then, of course, here comes the conflict where, it's forcefully taken from him. So now he's no longer able to heal. And, he's coming into situations where he's having to fight to save people that he cares about in this movie. But, he's getting shot up and he can't heal and stuff like that. So it's a pretty interesting movie. It's got great action choreography. I love the whole Japanese vibe. It's really a must-have if you're an X-Men lover. But let's talk about the 3D real quick. So, first thing, Chapter 1. It's a scene where it takes place during where Wolverine is a prisoner of war in World War II. The Japanese are holding him. My first initial thought was, wow, this scene looks flat. Is this going to be like another really crappy conversion that they did back when 3D was starting to get really popular? But then I was surprised by sensational depth after like maybe a minute of the scene after it started. Sensational depth that was enhanced by a really crisp 1080p picture with beautiful warm color tones. But then it's confusing though, because then you'll come across scenes like in Chapter 3, where you see Logan walking in the center of the street in this town, and you've got all these buildings surrounding him. You've got this street that stretches in, and you've got these mountains in the backdrop, and you're thinking, wow, this would be a perfect shot for 3D. This provides multiple layers of depth, but it doesn't. It's flat. So there's a lot of inconsistency there, in my opinion. There are really good scenes like the intro in Japan, and then it just switches to that scene where it felt like it should have shined, but it didn't. But then like in Chapter 10, when he's in Japan, it's nighttime, and he's visiting his old friend that he saved, and it's raining outside and thundering, and the rain provides a little bit of three-dimensional depth. I don't know if you've ever seen those movies where like it's snowing and the snow is looks like it's coming off of the screen. It's kind of like that, but not as poppy. Chapter 11, he wakes up from a nightmare and he throws his claws out, and his claws kind of look like they're protruding out of the screen, but not super poppy. And then, well, let's see, what else? Well, like in Chapter 14, this is a funeral scene where he's at the funeral of his friend. This is a very good 3D demonstration right here between the crowds of people, all the action, the fighting, the Japanese tea garden looking trees and shrubbery. There's plenty of depth here to immerse the viewer in. And then in the next scene, when he's riding the bullet train on top, this was a really fun 3D moment because, the train is going super fast. and it looks like it's stretching into the screen, and every time he jumps off of the train, it looks like he's kind of popping out of the screen a little bit. But then, you know, it becomes inconsistent after that. It's like mild to good depth and then flat. And it's like that throughout a lot of the movie. I feel like I was a little disappointed during one of the final scenes in chapter 28. He's rushing to this fortress somewhere in Japan to save, you know, this young woman. And it's nighttime and it's snowing a lot. And I thought that this would have been the perfect opportunity for some three-dimensional pop because of the snow effects. But really, it didn't really seem to shine too much. And there's a lot of action scenes here, arrows being shot at him. And yeah, there wasn't really too much to boast about in this scene. All in all, I would say that it still enhanced the viewing experience. I'm going to go ahead and give this one 3 out of 5 stars for its 3D. If you happen to find it like at a Big Lots or a dollar store where it's like $5 or $1 or something like that, sure, go ahead and get it. But I've been seeing how much this movie costs on Amazon, and I saw it was like $45, and I'm not sure why it's gone up in price so much, but I don't think it's worth $45. But yeah, if you happen to find it for a good deal, like $5, $10, $15 used, sure, go ahead and get it, because it does add some enhancement to the viewing experience. The picture itself was bright and vivid, so you know, it's not like the glasses dimmed the picture and you know, it took away from the viewing experience. I'd say it was pretty decent. So 3 stars for this one, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna start recording a new video for you here, so I'll see you in a little bit. Take care.